there is a seat for the United States. So when President Trump said they are not coming, that seat still remained.
But what does this have to do with me? In Soweto or in Durban or in Polokwane?
I saw the South African president running his mouth a little bit against the United States and the president of the United States earlier today, and that language is not appreciated by the president or his team.
Ma'am, you do not talk to our president like that.
That's what you need to know today. What those leaders agree on inside those G20 rooms, unfortunately, eventually affects your pocket.
Allegedly.
So gather around, everyone. Today, I am telling you a story. But this isn't about dragons or faraway kingdoms, no. This is a story about the world, about money, and about you. The story of the G20. Long, long ago, the world decided to form a very big team. Imagine a 20 of the biggest, most influential people in your class deciding to form a group and be friends. This club is basically called the G20. But these aren't kids. They aren't your classmates that you would basically know of, as I made the example. No, they are countries. And our very own South Africa is actually one of them. Alongside giants like the United States, like China, Germany, and Brazil. They are the world's biggest economies, biggest employers, and obviously the biggest traders as well. They are the 20 giants of the world. Trust me, it's true. So, why do they form this club? They actually form it because, well, one day, the world had a very massive money problem. A very global financial crisis. It was a mess, okay? Countries quickly realized that they couldn't solve these huge problems alone. So, like the Avengers, they decided, we are going to unite, man. They formed the G20 to discuss the world's money issues, how they would be able to fix global problems and help each other grow. They met once a year at a very big endeavor called the G20 Summit. And this is to just make sure they keep the world's economy on track. Now, you might be thinking, okay, that's nice for the leaders in their fancy suits, but what does this have to do with me in Soweto or in Durban or in Polokwane? That's the secret. That's what you need to know today. What those leaders agree on inside those G20 rooms, unfortunately, eventually affects your pocket. It has a lot to do with your job and your future. Let me break it down for you to understand it better. Today, we talk about the positives and not the negatives. Another video will cover the negatives for you to understand both sides. But today, let's talk about how good this could be. First, cheaper food. When G20 leaders actually talk on that table, they discuss ways to lower food prices and they discuss ways to prevent some form of shortages that we can have. That could basically mean cheaper maize meal in your cupboard or more support for our local farmers. Number 2, more jobs. We obviously need more jobs in South Africa. The G20 agreement basically helps bring foreign investments into South Africa. Think of this as countries like China and Germany building factories here. Now, I know you're probably thinking, no, why are they coming in? We don't want them to steal our land. We'll talk about it in another video. Now, just get this clear. They come, build factories here, or maybe the US investing in tech startups. This basically means more factories. We don't have money now, but there are people who have money who can assist us to make sure we have money to build our own factories one day. So we give them the opportunity to help us until we're able to help ourselves. This means more shops, more call centers, and more jobs for everyone, from people like cleaners and drivers to the most elite careers like engineers and IT specialists, basically. Thirdly, I want you to look at it like this: a better economy for all of us. The G20 helps keep our rand very stable and brings investment for new industries like green energy and digital technology. So when money basically is able to flow into South Africa, when we're able to have people buying certain things and investing in South Africa, what does that do to us? Our local businesses grow. And then the government then has more resources to build our roads because a lot more people will be paying a higher amount of tax that is able to make everything work. It's like a cycle. Yep, I'm glad you got it. They can build more roads, they can build more schools, and they can build more hospitals. Now, I know in your mind you're probably thinking of how Tembisa Hospital was actually attacked, and we are dealing with a serious crisis of corruption. But like I said, don't look at it first with the negative eye. Look at it in a positive light. Look at it from a perspective of the benefits that comes with people who have money coming into our country, bringing us money and assisting us for a period of time until we are able to stand on our own, and then we can build our own things and we can increase the ability for certain hospitals to work better, certain schools to be well maintained, and many other things can be done by us. But we need the help, right? Yep, we do. So speaking of which, countries like China, Turkey, and Saudi Arabia often actually invest in big infrastructure projects. That basically means that new roads will be coming. We can expect better grids. We can expect modern railways, all of which create even more jobs. So don't forget the point of this. Not everyone in South Africa is a business person that will one day be able to employ many people. That is why the government allows people from outside our country to come and join hands with them to create these businesses that allows our people to then have jobs. So we need the help again. I'm saying we need the help. We may not look like we need it now, but we definitely do. Fourth, better technology. When we partner with tech superpowers like the USA and China and South Korea, we get access to faster internet, my people. We get new tech startups and better gadgets, okay? This opens up a whole new world of digital jobs and training opportunities right here at home. The most important part, according to me, is the fact that South Africa is the only African country in this powerful club. What that means is that we don't just speak to ourselves. We represent the entire continent. Yes, let that sink in. We are that important currently. This on its own basically gives us massive influence. It is attracting investment. It is giving us some form of ability to get funding and partnerships that benefit all of us. The world wants our minerals, which is a problem because I know you're thinking about it. But the problem is, what would be the point of having food in your fridge that is not cooked and cannot be eaten, only for it to rot? The difference is minerals don't rot, but unfortunately we too are not necessarily using the minerals in the manner that they should be used. I would then say, yes, we do not want to be exploited because we come from a colonial time. Our forefathers experienced this, and now we have freedom and we can take care of everything. But realistically speaking, if I were to ask every single person listening to this video, if you have ever mined gold by yourself, you'd probably tell me no. You'd probably also tell me you don't even know how to refine gold to make it a finished product. So what does that mean? We need help. We need to learn. We need to know how to do it. We need to know how to use the machines, but also we need money to buy those machines. Yeah, it doesn't have to come from other people who are already doing it, but if we can get the people that are doing it to assist us, for us to do it ourselves, then that's also quite perfect. So yep, I know. Think about it like that, okay? The world wants our tourism as well because we have the Big Five and many other things. We have amazing talent and our incredible potential for renewable energy. Just think about what each country brings to the table. The USA also offers tech jobs and education. China, on the other side, helps build our roads and factories. India, in another part, provides affordable medicine and IT skills. And Germany brings world-class engineering. We know how we talk about German cars to prove the fact that Germany has it by the engineering part. There would not be a Mercedes-Benz, okay? Then we have Brazil, which shares its farming technology. The list goes on and on, my people. It's like having 19 powerful friends helping our country grow. And this isn't just talk. The G20 has a history of making a real difference. Yes, it does. Back in 2008, I must remind you, when the world economy nearly collapsed, the G20 stepped in and saved it. During the COVID-19 pandemic, they funded vaccine development and created a global recovery plan. And right now, they are leading the charge on climate change. They're leading the charge on funding solar and wind projects. And they are creating a new generation of green jobs in South Africa. So, how can you or any ordinary citizen benefit directly? Keep an eye out for jobs from foreign companies investing here. I will try and post a few of them in one video though, because I know some of you may not really like the intellectual information here, but that I will definitely do for you. Look also for free training programs in digital skills or business, often funded by the G20 initiatives. As trade opens up, you may potentially see cheaper food, cheaper clothes, and electronics in the shops. And if you are an entrepreneur, then this is your time to shine. It may be easier than ever to start a small business, whether it's a spaza shop, a delivery service, or an online store. So, why should you care about the G20 really? Well, truth is, because it's shaping the world you will live in. It means more jobs, more technology, and a stronger, richer South Africa for all of us. It's our seat at the world's most important table, and it's building a brighter future, one summit at a time.
Now, we have heard a whole lot of drama when it comes to two old men. These two old men are presidents of countries, okay? They are part of the G20, and clearly this G20 has two people who are having squabbles as friends in the classroom group that you remember. Let me tell you how it went down. Look at that.
And then President Ramaphosa, you said that the US request comes at the 11th hour and you would have to look at the practicalities of accepting that request. Does that mean that there's an opportunity or perhaps a possibility where it would not be practical to accept their request to be readmitted, as it were, to the G20 Summit? Thank you.
So basically, Trump said, because you are there suiciding or putting the lives of white farmers at risk in South Africa, I don't want to say deleting them intentionally, we are not going to come. He said the USA is not going to come. No one in the USA is going to come and represent you. But unfortunately, the guy forgot the fact that he has to come because next year, the G20 squad is going to him. And unfortunately, clearly, he was boycotting, hoping the whole group of the club would say, no, we're not going to South Africa. He was wrong. Mr. I want attention was wrong. Okay? Look at this.
Well, the United States is a member of the G20. They are the original member of the G20, so they have the right to be here. And all we will be seeking to do is to look at the various practicalities, logistical and otherwise, for them to participate. They have a seat at the round table, as you will see on Saturday. There is a seat for the United States. So when President Trump said they are not coming, that seat still remained. It was empty for a while, but it will hopefully be occupied, but we want to deal with all those practicalities. You should know that because it's a gathering of G20 leaders, there is a lot of logistics that go into getting the leaders to come to the venue and to participate, and how they will speak, their speaking order and all that. So those are matters that had not been pre-planned because they pulled out. So we need to understand precisely how all that will pan out. So we're clear. The United States has a right to participate in the G20, and much as they notify us at the 11th hour, we still need to engage with them to understand fully what their participation at the 11th hour means and how it will manifest itself.
Now, did you see how calm our president was when he was addressing the situation? He was asked a question and he decided to respond to the question based on what he knew at that time. He says it so calmly, so respectably. He is diplomatic, okay? And then the USA decides to respond. I have a problem with the response. Listen to the response. No one talks to our president like that. We are the only people that can talk about him and talk to him in the tone that you talk to him on. It is unacceptable. Anyway, let's take it away.
I'm calling on Bloomberg. Go ahead.
Caroline, thank you. Two questions for you. The New York Times is reporting that the administration is now sending a U.S. official to the G20. They're sending Mark Dillard. Can you confirm if that is true, and then also explain the shift in?
I'd be happy to explain, because there is not a shift. The United States is not participating in official talks at the G20 in South Africa. I saw the South African president running his mouth a little bit against the United States and the president of the United States earlier today, and that language is not appreciated by the president or his team. The ambassador, or the representative of the embassy in South Africa, is simply there to recognize that the United States will be the host of the G20. They are receiving that send-off at the end of the event. They are not there to participate in official talks, despite what the South African president is falsely claiming.
Ma'am, you do not talk to our president like that. You do not talk about our president, our cupcake, in the tone that you're talking to him in. He did not talk to you in a very rude way. And you, ma'am, decide to stand on the podium talking to reporters and the entire world in that tone. If Cupcake can't fight his battles, we will fight his battles for him. So please, do not come close to Cupcake nor South Africa. Anyway, listen to how this man put it.
First of all, is a confused foreign policy and a president who doesn't understand diplomacy and how systems work. He shoots from the hip. He doesn't think of the repercussion of his statement. Did he have to really say, no United States official and the United States are not going to be participating in this? And suddenly he finds himself in a position of reality. Reality is that someone must be involved in there. And I've said it before that, of course, this is going to change with time. And we're seeing it changing. It's a joke. American exceptionalism out the window, and American respect in terms of international affairs out the window. You have a president who flip-flops and lies and believes some stories made up by some racists, notwithstanding, somebody said that America's got one of the most sophisticated secret agents in the world, and they should know that there's nothing like killing and genocide in South Africa, but it continues to peddle these lies, and obviously believes these lies. Well, that's another form of bullying. The fact that they're now warning us and telling us that do not take kindly to it. And by the way, Donald Trump is on a back foot, and nobody went to beg him to change his mind. He had to change his mind because he realized that he was in isolation, and he needed to have the chairpersonship handover. So he had no choice but to change his mind. And President Cyril Ramaphosa is now playing politics and doubling down. And that comment, by the way, was the off-the-cuff comment. I think it was raised by a journalist, and President Cyril Ramaphosa responded to it. So I don't think it was meant in any way or form at Donald Trump. But Donald Trump, being Donald Trump, he took offense to it because obviously the limelight is off him at the moment. And he has to, at some point, attract the limelight to him. Particularly this weekend, he's going to be an isolated figure.
Thanks for watching, and don't forget to follow for more stories about how the world actually really works. Thank you. Bye.
Allegedly. Allegedly. Oh, allegedly. My people, my people, my people.